Hi, my name's David Johnson. I'm here in Cannes in the south of France. We have the 42-meter custom line named BOTTI here in the Cannes Yachting Festival. She's a 2020, she's a 42-meter, which means she's about 137 feet. She's got a beam of 26 feet 5 inches and a draft of 7 feet 8 inches. Caterpillar C32 main engines, cruising speed of around 13 knots, top speed of 16 knots. She's got a gross tonnage of 348 gross tons. This gross tonnage converts to volume. 348 is a lot of volume for a 42-meter yacht. BOTTI has the 5 stateroom configuration. That's a massive on-deck master cabin and 4 staterooms down below in the lower deck. Aside from the guest accommodations, BOTTI's got a very large main salon, got a large bar, and then a dining area with side windows that open up all the way to let a lot of light in. The Sky Lounge is a great area on this boat, and everything opens up to a huge exterior dining area. To me, the most impressive area of this boat on the outside is this area I'm standing right now, this sun deck. This sun deck is massive. Sun decks do tend to get windy on certain days, and even when you're cruising along at 13 knots, you feel that wind. Custom Line did something really nice, and they've got this glass that wraps all the way around this sun deck. It's not just this area right here. The entire sun deck is wrapped with this waist level glass. It's a great wind protector. Something that is very hard to miss is this massive hardtop. This is a full carbon fiber hardtop. It's got all the lighting that you need built up in here. Opposite the dining area, we've got this amazing bar. Here in the bar, we've got a sink, a full refrigerator, ice machine, some great storage behind here as well. One thing that's really nice though is you've got a lot of area here. You can have an amazing party up here. Also want to point out these 2 tables over on the side over here. This lets you kind of have a relaxed environment, but you can take some lunch, breakfast, coffee, anything up here without having a formal dining table. With all the seating, the jacuzzi, the lounging area back there, you could probably host about 19 or 20 people up here pretty comfortably. The last thing I'd like to point out in the sun deck is this beautiful jacuzzi. One of the jacuzzis that's built to the right size. A lot of the times on these yachts, you have a jacuzzi that you can only really truly fit 3 or 4 people in comfortably. You're gonna easily get 8 people in here. The hard top ends right here. So when you're in the jacuzzi, you've got a lot of natural light on you. You're gonna be sitting in the sun, which is really what you wanna be doing while you're hanging out in the jacuzzi. So now that I've shown you around the sun deck, let's head downstairs to the bridge deck aft. Working our way down to this dining area, first thing I'd like to point out is that Custom Line has continued with all of the glass paneling all the way around this area as well. So it's blocking the wind, but you're still getting some of that ambient wind that's blowing through. It keeps this area nice and cool. It also doesn't obstruct the view. You still have an amazing view back here. Working your way forward, you've got this beautiful, massive stone dining table. It's actually about that thick. This table is solid, and you've got room for a couple more chairs if you wanted to have room for 10 or 12 guests. You could still do it quite comfortably. And then, of course, from here, we can move right on into the Sky Lounge. In the US, we call this the Sky Lounge. Here in Europe, a lot of times they refer to it as the upper salon. And I can really understand that because this area is huge. It feels almost as spacious as the salon down below. In reality, it's bigger than a lot of salons on other yachts. It's a full beam. It's got a beautiful bar here. And forward of the bar, you'll find that there's a really nice pantry area so that the stewardesses are able to properly support this area with drinks and food. Leaving the pantry, we find ourselves at this beautiful bar right here. Some of the appliances found here behind the bar, you've got a drinks fridge, you've got a wine cooler here. Over on this side behind us, we've got an ice machine and then a lot of storage for all the glasses, stemware, everything else you'd expect to find behind a bar here. In order to ease movement around the exterior of the vessel and still maintain this full beam Sky Lounge, Custom Line came up with a nice option, and they've got a balcony on that side and another door here that leads to a balcony that lets you walk all the way up to the foredeck. The balcony over here, which I'll show you right now, provides a little private area for anybody that wants to step outside right here, maybe when you're coming into the marina or you want to watch the dolphins as you're cruising around. Wrapping up here in the Sky Lounge, we'll work our way forward. Right here you have a set of stairs leading down to the main deck. Port side, we've got the upper pantry that we spoke about earlier, a day head on the starboard side, another set of stairs. This set of stairs is going to take you down to the crew accommodations in the galley. Now that we're up here in the Wheelhouse, I should point out, just here outboard, You've got a little area for the captain to sit, work on a computer. You've got all the controls for the navigation lights, interior lights, and everything else. This bridge was put together by Team Italia. An important feature that you're going to find here in this navigation software is that it has the ECTA system, which basically is an alternative to the paper charts, which are no longer required. And here they have the iBridge, which allows you to control everything on the bridge with a set of controls here. And of course, your main engine, Simrad, autopilot, and your bow and stern thruster. Further aft from there, you're going to find a captain's cabin. This one is really well laid out. You've got a queen size bed in here. It's a very generous captain's cabin. I'm sure any captain would be happy to call that home. Wrapping up in here, we're next going to check out the bow. Every captain wants a side station where he can see the bow and the stern. Here on the custom line, they've done a great job. Captain can maneuver the whole boat from right here, everything that he needs to navigate the boat. You got your bow stern thruster and your main engine controls. And I can tell you right now, there's a clear line of sight looking aft and looking forward. Working our way up into this beautiful forward living area, 2 nice tables, big area around it. And then under this big pad right here, you've got an additional garage. You've got the garage back aft and you've got another garage here. Typically, you'd store the safety tender here, but if you're not running a commercial ship program, then you can just use this for any type of storage that you want. Running along the front side of the wheelhouse, you're gonna find what could be a settee, but it also is a cooler. It's got drainage, so you can put a bunch of ice in there and you'd have enough drinks for an entire day. Working our way forward from the guest seating area, we find ourselves in the working area of the foredeck. Here you're going to find, the ship's bell, because it's standing out there so prominently, and a nice storage area here. This is actually a great area for lots of stuff in here. You can get your fenders down there, additional lines. This area also is really well done. They brought the teak all the way up here, so it maintains that level of class. Wrapping up here on the bow, we're going to work our way aft, and I'm going to show you the stern of the boat. Working our way from the foredeck to the aft deck, we find ourselves in this beautiful, beautiful aft deck. A couple things to point out: all the overhead space here. Really nice height here. It's got the ambient lighting built in, speakers built in. This is all Paolo Lenti furniture. It's really high-end furniture. It's meant to be outside and it's meant to be comfortable. When all the water sports toys are out, the beach club is open. If you're not wanting to be in the water as much, this is a great place to hang out. You've got the 3 bar stools here. Sit and relax and have a drink, look out, watch everybody having fun in the water, but yet you're hanging out up here, you're in total comfort. 2 features about this boat that I really like a lot. That's the beach club and the way that the tender enters into the port side of the boat. Unfortunately, because of the way that the boat is set right here at the boat show, we're not able to open up the door to show you the full beach club. I'll tell you a little bit about it. When the door is open all the way, you've obviously got a large area here that you can stand on. Now we're inside the beach club. This one is finished off really nice. You've got teak down the floor, the walls are finished off, and you've got a nice bar area here, drinks refrigerator, an ice machine. You've got a sink down here. Feels more of like a beach club than it would a typical storage area. Walking forwards towards the area where we access the tender garage, you've got all the fins right here, and you've got another locker right here for masks, assorted other gear, sunblocks, and more storage down below. Continuing forward from here brings us into the tender garage. In the garage, you're going to find a Williams 5-meter tender. It's a diesel tender. There is a filling station inside the garage so you can fill the tender from the fuel tanks on board the boat. There's also room inside this area to hang all of your life jackets, electric surfboards, if you have sea bobs, anything else that you might want to store in this area. There's plenty of room. So on some boats, the tender launch and retrieval operation is quite complicated. These guys have simplified the whole thing. You've got a door over on the outboard side that's actually part of the hull. Hook this up to this ring right here. You push the boat out. You can control how quickly it goes out with the motor here. To retrieve the tender, all you have to do is hook the clip up to the ring here, and you use the motorized winch to bring it back in. Forward of the tender garage, you're going to find the control room. This is a really well laid out space. It's air conditioned, which keeps this area cool, which is very important because this is where you have the AC shore power converters. These units tend to run pretty hot, so it needs to be air conditioned. The BOTTI has 2 Caterpillar C32 engines. These engines operate at about 1,600 horsepower each. That again brings us to that cruising speed of about 13 knots and a top end of about 16 knots. You've got the 4 Racor fuel filters here that are going to polish the fuel before it gets into the main engines and the generators. We've got two Kohler generators, one on the port, one on the starboard side. Two Hidromar water makers. These produce about 1,000 gallons per day, so you got about a 2,000 gallon per day capacity. Working our way aft, obviously you can see the sizable exhaust and everything that is required for operating these engines on the boat. Coming back, you've got a nice workbench here, and something that I'd like to see on every yacht is a vise. May not be used all the time, but when you need a vise, it's really nice to have one. Engineers done a good job of keeping all the tools organized. Final thing that I'd like to point out here is the Hammond Waste Treatment Center. This is nice. You tend to get these on the bigger boats. I'm now showing you all of the exterior spaces, all of the engineering spaces, and now we're working our way inside into the main salon. We'll spend the rest of our time focusing on the interior. Here's what I like most about the salon. You've got this amazing bar right here. It's actually perfectly positioned because the stewardess can be here serving drinks on the aft deck, maybe bringing some appetizers back there, but at the same time, just as close to the dining table. Another thing to love about this spacious salon is that you've got a big area here for a large dining table. This one can easily accommodate 8 guests. If you needed to squeeze in a couple more people, it'd be easily done with this table. You've got floor to ceiling windows over here. Over here, you've got a nice set of glass doors that open up all the way and lead you out to a balcony. That balcony folds down, and when that's in the down position, it gives you a full view right out the door. So forward of the salon, we have 2 options. Here on the starboard side, forward, you have the master cabin, and down the stairs, you have the guest accommodations. We're going to start on the port side, starting with the stewardess pantry that's right here through this door, and then forward of there is the galley. Here in the stewardess pantry, we've got a lot of usable stewardess-friendly items. You've got a nice big countertop, really nice to prepare drinks there, or anything else that stewardess might have to put together. You've got a Hoshizaki ice machine, dumbwaiter that's going to go up to the next deck. Here you've got a Miele microwave oven, side access for the crew to get out to the deck. You've got access down to the crew areas. We're going to come back to that in a couple minutes, but first I want to show you the galley right here. You've got a nice space in here. A chef has got a lot of room to move around, lots of storage. You've got everything that you need in the galley. You got a nice cooktop right here, good size oven, double refrigerators, double freezers, nice double sink setup, Miele professional dishwasher, and one of the most important things for a chef, you've got a nice big window right there. Wrapping up here, we're going to take a look at the area that the crew call home. So now we're down in the crew accommodations. This is a really nice area. They did a great job laying this out. You got laundry over there on the starboard side. You got 2 washers, 2 dryers, plenty of room for an ironing board. There's another sink in there. Backing up here, we're now into the crew dining area. This is a nice settee, big enough for all the crew. Good storage all around. You've got a sink, dishwasher, refrigerator just behind me here. And forward, we're going to find 4 cabins. Each cabin's going to have 2 bunks. So you're all set up for 8 crew down here. And then you have the captain's cabin up top, which provides room for 1, possibly 2 more if you've got a team up there. We've shown you the area that the crew call home. Now we're working our way out into the foyer. This foyer has got access to multiple areas on board the boat. We'll start with down here. So down here, there's 4 staterooms that are all for the guests. Through the stairs up here, you're going to get access to the Sky Lounge, which we've shown you guys earlier, and the Wheelhouse. And up here, walking forward, we've got the dayhead with a large window. It's kind of ironic that we're showing you the guest accommodations last, because this is truly one of the best parts of the boat. Something special about this master cabin here on BOTTI is that this little foyer into the master cabin is a very spacious area. You actually have a sofa here. You've got a good size desk here. This desk is actually wide enough for 2 people to sit side by side. You've got additional storage down there and a nice little bookshelf arrangement here. Now let's talk about the living area of the master cabin. Let's talk about all the natural light that's in here. You've got 2 massive windows here. They're going to bring in all that natural light that everybody likes to have in the mornings when you're sitting out at anchor. You got the blinds open, you're watching the sun come up. It's a beautiful place. You've got a king-size bed. As we work our way around, there's a walk-in closet. And this is really nice having a full-size walk-in closet there because it separates you from the galley. It gives you about a 4-foot buffer so you aren't hearing any of the noise from the galley. Some of the nice design features that they have here in the master cabin is obviously they've got a large TV here on the forward bulkhead, but a lot of custom furniture here. It's not a piece of built-in cabinetry. This is a really nice piece of furniture right here. You've got the Paolo Lenti furniture, sofa here on the port side, chair over there on the starboard side. And of course, from here, this leads on to the ensuite. This ensuite has a his and hers layout, which means that there's a toilet on both sides of this head. It's also got a really pretty marble pass-through shower, which means that you can enter the shower from this side and you can walk out the other side if you want to. Now that I've shown you the master, we have 4 other accommodations to look at. They're on the lower level. Let's work our way there right now. So now we're on the landing for the guest accommodations. From here, we've got access to 4 of the staterooms. They're all pretty much identical, other than a few subtle little differences. We'll start here with the starboard forward cabin. There's a couple features that we notice right away. One is, again, the natural light. You've got a window here with 2 portholes that open. You also notice a huge mirror here, and it's got the TV behind the mirror. That's always nice. When it comes to storage, I also like the fact that they've got a large closet here. This is a huge closet for a guest cabin. The real thing that separates the 2 forward guest staterooms from the aft staterooms is the fact that this one has a convertible bed option. So this bed will separate in 2, making it so that you can have 2 separate beds here. So now let's talk about the aft staterooms. These ones do not have the convertible option. It's just a single king-size bed. These also have 2 side tables that are a little bit larger than the ones in the other room. Same size cabin, but you do have some additional storage throughout this area here. Like the master cabin ensuite, the ensuites down here in the guest accommodations are also finished off to highest standards. It's a lot of nice stonework in here, a lot of glass for the shower and more windows for natural light. Overall, just a very nice luxurious feel. So wrapping up day 1 of the Cannes International Boat Show. Thanks for joining me on board Motor Yacht BOTTI. I'd love to answer any questions that you have. Please feel free to call me, email me if you have any questions at all.